Good morning. Thank you for joining us for this service. Do wear your masks outside. We are down here at the Pasadena Buddhist Temple to our skeleton crew. Alan Goto and I are producing this talk, and Alan's about 45 feet away from me, so I will forego the mask for clarity of pronunciation. We are preparing this talk for the San Diego Buddhist Temple for your Bodhi Day service in December, first Sunday in December. I've had much help in preparing this service. And I want to thank all the people. I can't thank everyone. I can't thank everyone who has kept the San Diego Temple alive and going. But let me mention just a few people who've helped keep you going and helped me to do this talk, produce this talk for your service. And that would, of course, be Bill Teague and Luann Lee. Also, of course, Reverend Kenji Akahoshi, Laverne Imori, Noriko Kawai, Mary Beth, Smitty Smith, and Arturo Rubio. Many others have helped me, but I mentioned them. And of course, Alan Goto here today and Kathy Kumagai, who will manipulate the tapes for us so that they all come together properly. For some time, the San Diego Buddhist Temple Dharma messages have seemed to focus on living a life of gratitude. Now, this being my first Dharma message for as the supervising minister for the San Diego Buddhist Temple, I want to focus on what it is we're grateful for. You know about being grateful. Every now and then, let me try to remind you what it is as Buddhists that we are grateful for. Why should we be thankful? So that'll be more my orientation the next few weeks. And today, specifically today, being your Bodhi Day service for the San Diego Buddhist Temple, I will cover many details of the historical Buddha Shakyamuni's biography and his experience of awakening to Bodhi. It was at the age of 29 that Shakyamuni, the Buddha to be, renounced the riches and comforts of the life of a regent-elect, the regent-elect of Magadha, and he went to become a renunciate in the forest. His given name was Siddhartha, which means every wish fulfilled. He was of the Gautama family and of the Shakya clan. You will sometimes hear not very well educated monks call him Gautama Buddha. That's not proper. He's referred to as the Buddha or Shakyamuni Buddha, and if we refer to him prior to his awakening, we refer to him as Shakyamuni, the sage of the Shakya clan. Shakyamuni was from Magadha again, which was a small principality in northern India, considered a part of India at the time, although it is now part of Nepal. Shakyamuni being quite wealthy, he ate the best foods, he married the prettiest and nicest young women. He was fortunate enough to have the smartest and best-looking sons. I know how all that is. And then he snuck off at night to become a spiritual seeker. He chose poverty and spiritual search over all this fulfillment. His father, King Suddhodana, would have prevented this had he been able, had he known. So why leave when you have everything? Well, before he left, after 29 years of living a very sheltered life, the Shakyamuni decided to have a look around, and his attendant took him through the four gates, as we say, to the four encounters. He first encountered inevitable aging when he walked outside the gates of the palace grounds and encountered a man with osteoporosis, a man bent over due to having given up too much calcium, one of the common effects for many of us of aging. The Buddha was struck by this sight. Next, the second gate was the gate of illness. He saw a man coughing and sneezing, feverish, sweating. What's wrong with this guy? He's sick. We all get sick sometimes, his attendant told him. He then, as I understand to this day you will, walking about India, just came upon a corpse laying there, a deceased person. And his attendant explained to him that this comes to all humans just as you knew it came to all animals. The fourth gate, the last thing he saw was a sannyasin, a forest dweller, a spiritual seeker. And he saw that life of spiritual search led to some kind of peace. This man had a calmness, a peace, a kindness about him, and a wisdom. The spiritual renunciate sensitized Shakyamuni to the scent of liberation. Now, this is the traditional explanation. This is all quite correct. But we should recognize that this fourth encounter was the essential thing, encountering a spiritual seeker, seeing that some kind of spiritual resolution is what we all need, that at a spiritual level we can resolve our suffering and our lostness. At a spiritual level we can distance ourselves from greed, anger, stupidity, and excessive fear. The Buddha was, as the Majjhima Nikaya tells us, searching for an existence that was wide open. Shakyamuni was seeking an existence which is wide open, into the great wide open. He was seeking something so important that all our other concerns might seem trivial in comparison. After 6 years of studying with more than 100 yogins and philosophy teachers he encountered in the forest, after 6 years of meditation and asceticism, Shakyamuni had come very close to his goal of a way of living that is wide open, his goal of seeing something so precious that nothing else much mattered. And then, we have the exact times of day in the sutras, at 4 p.m., he's thirsty and he begins to walk down to the stream to get a drink of water, and he stumbles because he is so weak from not eating enough for so long. And a young lady named Sujata sees this, and she brings him at 4 p.m. a bowl of rice gruel, Uncle Ben's maybe. And this rice gruel gave him the strength to resume his meditation. 4 p.m. The next thing that happened, this is December 8th, 5:35 before the Common Era. I don't know what day of the week it was. It's supposed to have been December 8th, though. At midnight, he had a wavering of conviction. We say being tempted by the spirit of delusion, being tempted by mala, but it was a wavering of conviction at midnight. And he resumed his conviction, and that's where we have the earth witnessing posture. The Buddha reached down to touch the earth, and the earth acknowledged him in his own mind's eye, saying, Shakyamuni has been of great help to others in previous lives, and he will be of considerable assistance to humans in this life. He is welcome to sit here. That's all the earth had to say to him, was she's welcome to sit here. The earth witnessing posture, when he resumed his conviction, to resume his meditation, his study. And at daybreak, at the moment that the Buddha gazed at the morning star, and I always point this out to you, we have this image of Dharma sitting, that meditation is this one-pointedness, but the Buddha was sitting under a tree thinking about stuff. And he looked up and he saw the morning star, and bam, that was it. Not because it's the morning star, not because it's the planet Venus. Did he know it was the planet Venus? I doubt it. It just happened to be. It could have been the stone running against the graveside. It could have been anything. That moment of looking up at the morning star, he awoke to the deep truth of all things, which is that one thing flows into another and cannot be separated. He attained enlightenment, the Buddha did. Attaining enlightenment is also called realizing Bodhi, the highest wisdom. It is also called nirvana, great awakening, satori, realization with a capital R, becoming a Buddha, Jobutsu in Sino-Japanese, the full flowering of Buddha nature. These are all different ways of saying what happened to the Buddha on Bodhi Day. To enter into the Dharmadhatu, the realm of the Dharma. To attain liberation, moksha. This is what he did. These are all various names for the same goal, the goal of spiritual search. And these names, like moksha, the term liberation, moksha, used by Buddhists, Jains, and Hindus to describe our ultimate goal. We might ask what he realized, but the important thing to understand is that we don't really know. I don't know. We can only guess and approximate. He discerned the deep oneness of life. It's our standard approximation. For Buddhists, the oneness of life means that one thing flows into another and cannot be grasped as separate. All things interpenetrate one another. This was his finding a way of living which is wide open. The Buddha went on to point out different paths to enlightenment, various paths, various ways of securing lasting happiness. Shakyamuni's teaching and his students' teachings all lead to greater illumination in this life and in the next and beyond this life. There are 84,000 paths to great awakening. But not just any path. Not every perspective will lead you there. Becoming a Buddhist involves a profound conversion, Shin, a turning around of the heart and mind. This is what I'm calling today having a foretaste of the flavor of freedom, a foretaste of liberation. And whereas converting to traditional Christianity or Islam often focuses on adopting new beliefs, conversion to being a Buddhist is more letting go of old beliefs, giving up most old beliefs, questioning all of our beliefs, and nurturing this taste of freedom that the Dharma is giving us. There are at least 84,000 paths to awakening, but there are millions of paths that don't get you there. There are millions of paths that will not lead to enlightenment. Clinging to the idea that there will not be a new life after this one might prevent you from walking the Buddhist path. Clinging to the notion that you are a soul, an inner spiritual essence somehow stuck in a body, will prevent you from walking the Buddhist path effectively. It will prevent you from having a foretaste of awakening. A foretaste of awakening, something we can all have. If there are some aspects of our teaching that you don't understand, let it be. Me too. Accept the fact that you don't know exactly, and I don't know exactly what the Buddha realized on Bodhi Day. I don't know exactly what enlightenment is. Live comfortably with the fact that you don't fully know what Buddhism is yet, but you are starting to understand what a Buddhist feels, what it feels like to be Buddhist, what this foretaste of enlightenment tastes like. It tastes like freedom. It feels like openness, warmth, caring. Warmth, caring, freedom, openness. This is what we feel on the Buddhist path. Whatever the exact realization was, which Shakyamuni Buddha came to on Bodhi Day, about 350 years ago, it led him to a life of penetrating wisdom and tireless compassion. Of the many teachings which have emerged from Shakyamuni Buddha's spiritual lineage, about 200 schools of Buddhism survive. There have been probably 3 times that many which have morphed into, been drawn into the schools that still survive. I have strong confidence in the capacity of any of those schools of Buddhism to lead you to a better life here and now, and to a better life the next time out, after your inevitable, eventual biological death. The reality that we encounter in our practice of the Buddha Dharma is true and real. Makoto aru koto. True and real. True and genuine. Despite the flaws in our ideas, and our ideas are flawed, despite the imperfections of our imaginings and visualizations, the reality that we awaken to is real and genuine. Nembutsu no mizo makoto nite owashimasu. And this is something to be grateful for, a reason to be grateful. Shinran describes the Nembutsu as functioning like a touchstone. This is real and true, good and genuine. If I compare it to this, how does it compare? Is this the same, less, more? Namo Amida Butsu, Nembutsu no Mizo, encountering the truth in the Nembutsu allows us to have a touchstone for what is real and important in our lives. It brings with it the ability to savor the scent of enlightenment, to savor the scent of the flowering of enlightenment, and to let go of our more trivial concerns. Reality accepts us just as we are, but we undergo an education of our moral palates. We start to realize what's valuable and what is not. So, to the Pasadena Buddhist Temple members who've helped me produce this talk and who have nurtured me and kept my family alive these last 7 years, thank you. To the San Diego Buddhist Temple members who are participating in this service, thank you very much. To those who tuned in accidentally, welcome. Thanks for checking us out. Join us anytime you wish. In cyberspace currently, we'll open up as soon as we can, as soon as it's safe. Some of you may attend other temples besides Buddhist temples, and you're welcome here as well. People come to our temples for a variety of needs, including spiritual needs, social needs, and aspirations that are aesthetic. You're always welcome at the San Diego Buddhist Temple. Again, currently in cyber fashion, soon open to the public, the vaccinated public. If you're in Pasadena, we are open to Pasadena to the vaccinated public. Check our website for our activities. The core teaching, despite all these teachings that the Buddha opened out for us, the core teaching that we focus on is the Nembutsu, true language, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu, I rely upon the source of limitless wisdom and endless life. This is the core of our community. Our community aspires for Buddhahood in the next life, composure, and caring in this life. Those of us who are traveling the Nembutsu path find that it gives us a chance to decrease greed, anger, stupidity, and fear a bit, to increase wisdom, kindness, and compassion. Living in the light of the Buddha's vow and saying the Nembutsu, Namo Amida Butsu, gives us a chance to live well, more fully, more happily, more productively. This truly is something to be grateful for, a reason to be grateful. In the long run, all we are saying is give the Nembutsu a chance. And we are saying that, give the Nembutsu a chance. In closing the Dharma message portion of your service, I will be saying the Nembutsu aloud a few times. Those who wish to, please join. We rely upon the source of limitless wisdom and endless life. Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, 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 Namanda Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Thank you very much.